Hey everyone, welcome back to Anime Retro Hub. It's crazy to think about how much anime has exploded in popularity, right? I mean, these days, you can't walk into a store without seeing a familiar spiky-haired hero on a t-shirt. But for many of us, especially those who grew up when finding anime was like a treasure hunt, there's a special magic to the classics. It seems like more and more adults are diving back into the retro gold, rediscovering the shows that started it all. So today, let's take a trip down memory lane and explore the incredible evolution of anime, decade by decade. We'll look at how styles, stories, and the industry itself changed, creating the global phenomenon we love today. Let's start at the very beginning. Before the 1960s, Japanese animation was experimental, often consisting of short films used for education or propaganda. But the 60s, that's when things really kicked off. This is the decade that gave us the foundational DNA of modern anime. Think big, expressive eyes, limited animation to save on costs, and stories that were simple but full of heart. The undisputed king of this era was Osamu Tezuka, the god of manga. In 1963, his creation, Astro Boy, hit the airwaves. It was a massive success in Japan and, crucially, it was one of the first anime to be successfully exported to America. Astro Boy's blend of sci-fi action and emotional depth proved that animation could be more than just kids' stuff. Following its success, we saw other iconic shows like Giganto, a story about a boy controlling a giant robot, and Kimba the White Lion, another Tezuka masterpiece. These early shows established the tropes we still see today: mecha, adventure, and stories with a strong moral core. The 60s were all about laying the groundwork. Then came the 1970s, and anime started to get a lot more dramatic and complex. The art styles became more refined, and the themes grew up alongside the audience. This decade was the birthplace of the super robot genre, thanks to the legendary Go Nagai. His creation, Mazinger Z, introduced the idea of a pilot inside a giant, powerful robot, fighting against evil forces. This was a game changer. It led to an explosion of mecha shows, but it wasn't just about giant robots. The 70s also gave us space operas that would define a generation. Space battleship Yamato, known as Star Blazers in the West, was an epic tale of humanity's last hope, journeying through space. It was serialized, had a serious, overarching plot, and dealt with themes of sacrifice and war. Alongside it, we had Mobile Suit Gundam, which completely revolutionized the mecha genre by introducing the real robot concept. These weren't invincible super robots, they were complex military machines in a gritty, political war story. The 70s proved that anime could tell sophisticated, long-form stories that captivated audiences. As we roll into the 1980s, we enter what many consider the first golden age of anime. The bubble economy in Japan fueled incredible production values, and creativity was off the charts. This is the decade of the OVA, or original video animation. With the rise of VCRs, studios could create high-budget, beautifully animated features directly for the home video market, bypassing TV censorship. This led to an explosion of diverse and often more mature content. Sci-fi epics like Macross blended mecha action, an idle romance, and a fantastic soundtrack. It was a cultural phenomenon. On the big screen, Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata founded Studio Ghibli, releasing masterpieces like Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind and My Neighbor Totoro, which showcased breathtaking animation and deeply resonant storytelling. And who could forget the film that brought anime to the attention of the global mainstream, Akira? Its cyberpunk world and stunning, fluid animation were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. The 80s was a decade of ambition, innovation, and iconic style that still influences creators today. Now let's talk about the 90s. If the 80s was the first golden age, the 90s was the decade anime went global. This was the era that hooked so many of us in the West. Shows like DragonBallZ, Sailor Moon, and Pokémon became after-school staples for a whole generation. They were perfectly packaged for international audiences, with thrilling action, relatable characters, and themes of friendship and perseverance. But the 90s wasn't just for kids. it was also a time for deep, philosophical, and experimental shows. In Neon Genesis Evangelion deconstructed the mecha genre, using giant robots as a backdrop for a complex psychological drama about trauma and depression. Cowboy Bebop blended genres like sci-fi, western, and noir, all set to an iconic jazz soundtrack. It was cool, stylish, and incredibly sophisticated. And then you had Ghost in the Shell, a cyberpunk thriller that questioned the very nature of identity in a technological world. The 90s had this amazing duality: massively popular shows that created a global fan base, and groundbreaking series that pushed the artistic boundaries of what anime could be. Entering the 2000s, the digital era completely transformed anime production. Cell animation was phased out in favor of digital techniques, which allowed for cleaner lines, more vibrant colors, and the integration of CGI. This digital revolution made anime production faster and more efficient, leading to a massive increase in the number of shows produced each year. The internet also became a huge factor. Fans could now discuss episodes online, access information instantly, and even watch shows through fan subs long before they were officially licensed. This created a more connected global community. In terms of content, the 2000s saw the rise of moe and slice-of-life anime, with shows like The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya and K-On! Becoming huge hits. At the same time, epic shonen adventures like Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, the Big Three, dominated the landscape, building on the foundations of DragonBallZ to create vast worlds and sprawling stories that captivated millions worldwide. The 2000s was a decade of transition, where technology and the internet reshaped how anime was made and consumed. And that brings us to the 2010s and beyond. Anime is now more accessible than ever, thanks to legal streaming services like Crunchyroll, Funimation, and Netflix. The barrier to entry for new fans is virtually gone. This accessibility has led to anime becoming a fully mainstream part of global pop culture. This era is defined by incredible diversity. You have blockbuster hits like Attack on Titan, a dark, intense story that became a worldwide phenomenon. You have critically acclaimed masterpieces like Your Name, a film that broke box office records with its stunning visuals and emotional story. The isekai genre, where a protagonist is transported to another world, absolutely exploded with shows like Sword Art Online and Re:Zero. We also saw a resurgence of beautifully animated action series like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, which set new standards for fight choreography. The industry is bigger than ever, but it also faces challenges like demanding production schedules. But one thing is clear: anime's creative spirit is stronger than ever, constantly reinventing itself for new generations. From the simple charm of Astro Boy in the 60s to the digital blockbusters of today, the journey of anime has been absolutely incredible. Each decade brought its own unique style, iconic shows, and technological advancements that pushed the medium forward. For those of us who love retro anime, looking back isn't just about nostalgia. It's about appreciating the foundation, the risks, and the creativity that made it all possible. These classic shows are the giants whose shoulders today's creators stand on. What's your favorite anime decade? What show got you hooked? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to read your stories. It's been a blast taking this trip through time with you all. Thanks for watching Anime Retro Hub, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into the classics. See you next time.